Take a deep breath in and exhale. Keep breathing deeply and use this opportunity to be grateful for the opportunity to be alive. Alive, breathing with the capacity to listen. You have already powerful opportunities, the most powerful opportunities, because any other opportunity, it doesn't matter how wonderful, how marvelous it looks like, if you aren't alive and breathing, you won't be able to use it. And if you are not listening or getting the information in some way or the other, you will ignore the opportunity because you will be unaware of it. Take a deep breath in and experience the joy of being alive. Take a deep breath in. And what if today, on this day, you choose to ask yourself, which is my leading thought in creating conditions? Which is your leading thoughts in creating conditions? Observe what you're thinking about that. Observe what you're telling yourself about that. Because as soon as you listen, whatever it is that you listen, at this moment is this. Your thoughts and beliefs are the filter for the information. Whatever it is that you are thinking, whatever it is that you are believing, is giving some interpretation to the information that shows up. So take a deep breath in and exhale. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thoughts create the conditions my mind imagines. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thoughts create the conditions my mind imagines. Look into the past and you will find moments that your mind creates different conditions, and thanks to that, you were able to solve situations. And you will also find moments that your thought create the conditions. You started to imagine the worst, and you wasted time on feeling the worst, on thinking the worst, on creating the conditions on your mind that even make you sick. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thoughts create the conditions my mind imagines. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thoughts create the conditions my mind imagines. Observe your pattern. Which is your pattern? Is your pattern an automatic pilot of it is going to happen the worst? And whatever it is that you, with any small piece of information, you imagine the worst? Or Is your automatic pattern in thinking whatever the condition is going to be the best. This is about balance. Like, for example, if there is an announcement of an hurricane, do you go into La La Land? Oh, it won't happen. Total negation. And then you don't prepare? Or do you enter in a complete crisis mode and you believe you have to take all the resources, all the things from everyone because if not, fill the blank? Do you see? Those are two extremes. I am inviting you to balance your mind. And you know what? By being here, that is what you are doing. That is exactly what you are doing. How so? Because you are expanding your sphere of awareness. You are expanding your sphere of consciousness. You are raising your level of alertness. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thought create the conditions my mind imagine. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thought create the conditions my mind imagine. Do you realize how powerful it is? This awareness that your thought is creating the conditions your mind imagine. Is it possible that you take a lot of time imagining things that put you in a bad mood? Is it possible that you are taking a lot of time imagining things that make you like go away your optimism? This is about finding what are those thoughts provoking in you, that leading thought. Which conditions are creating in your mind? Are they inspiring you to go higher, to go further? Or are they putting in such a despair? Are putting you in such a despair that you are paralyzed? It's okay. Remember, there are several areas of life: vocational, physical, financial, familial, mental, spiritual, social. Is it possible that in any of those areas your thought allow you to thrive? And is it possible that in any of those areas your thoughts allow you to remain what you can perceive as stuck or as unfulfilled? Remember, here the most important appreciation is yours. Notice if you're thinking what others are saying about you or what you believe others are saying about you, even if you aren't sure if that is true or not. Because realize that you are imagining what others may or may not say about you. And is it possible that you are taking a lot of time of imagining what may or may not happen instead of working on what you have at hand? Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, realize that we all develop patterns of behavior, and realize that you are here discovering yours. And this is a new moment, and you can choose which pattern put in place from now on. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thought create the conditions my mind imagine. I celebrate to acknowledge that my mind create the conditions, that my thought create the conditions that my mind imagine. When you make a mistake on what you perceive a mistake, is it possible that your mind, your thought is taking you to imagine that you're going to keep making mistakes, whatever that means for you? Is it possible that your emotions are interrupting your function in any area of your life? Take a deep breath in and exhale. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thought create the conditions my mind imagine. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thought create the conditions my mind imagine. What would you love your thoughts to be? And observe if you believe that is possible or not. Because after all, the most important thing here is what you think about your possibilities, what you believe about your possibilities. Because after all, it is you the one who is imagining your world. Are you aware of that? Take a deep breath in and exhale. Keep today's questions at hand with you, which is my leading thought in creating conditions. And affirm, I celebrate to acknowledge that my thought create the conditions my mind imagine. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thought create the conditions my mind imagine. I celebrate to acknowledge that my thought create the conditions that my mind imagine. Blessings.